Okay, so if you just ignore the MATLAB in the middle of my screen here, we are trying to, it says that on the previous 4 clock cycles, we got a 0, 1, 0, 1 on the previous 4 clock cycles. So 0, 1, 0, 1. So that means that if I look back at my sequence of things that was entered, okay, so I look back at my sequence that was entered. If I'm right here, so this is the end, then on this clock cycle right here, I should output a 1 because my previous 4 were 0, 1, 0, 1. And right here, I have a 0, 1, 0, 1. And then right here, I have a 0, 1, 0, 1. And right here, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, and 0, 1, 0, 1. Do y'all see all those 0, 1, 0, 1s? So if I'm looking back at the things that have been entered, that would be when I would output a 1. So let me try this again. So we have our reset, and we have, if we're trying to get to 0, 1, 0, 1, our first thing that we would have is a 0, and then a 0, 1, and then a 0, 1, 0, and then a 0, 1, 0, 1. So A, B, C, D. So starting with our reset, if we get a 0, where do we go? And if we get a 1, where do we go?
Back to itself. To reset.
And if I'm at A and I get a 0, where do I go?
You go back to itself.
And if I get a 1, where do I go?
B.
And if I'm at B, that means I have a 0, 1.
Yep.
If I get a 0, where do I go?
You go back to
No, you go to C.
I go to C.
Yes.
So if you get a 1, you go back to reset.
No, you go back to A.
You go back to A. You go back to A. You go back to reset. No, you should go back to reset.
Hold on, let's see what we got. Hold on. So I'm at B, which means I have a 0, 1. If I get a 0, I then have a 0, 1, 0. If I get a 1, I have a 0, 1, 1, and just looking back at that, there's nothing in there that would get me to a 0, 1, 0, 1, because my sequence has to start with a 0. So there's no way to get to a 0, 1, 0, 1 from this. And so this is going to take me back to reset. So did anyone else have a huh?
Oh wait, I misread my map. It was something else.
Okay. Everybody else okay?
Let's see.
All right, so now I'm at C, and I have 0, 1, 0, and I get a 0. Where do I go
That
from
goes
there?
to A.
That one goes to A.
I was looking at.
And I get a 1. Where do I go?
It goes to B.
Now, if I'm at D and I get a 0, where do I go?
Back to C.
If I get a 1, where do I go?
Back to reset.
And then my outputs, what are my outputs going to be for each of my states?
Everything 0 except by C would be a 1. I mean D would be a 1.
So that's a good Moore machine. If this were a Mealy machine, would I need a state D?
I don't know how to do machines.
Would y'all like to redo this as a Mealy machine?
Yes.
Yeah, why not? I think it'd be good.
Okay, so reset. Reset means we got nothing. We get a 0. Our output is going to be 0. And I'm just going to write this as I'll put what my sequence is that I have so far. So if I get a 1, I'm coming back here and my output is 0. Okay, so now I'm at the state where I have a 0. If I get another 0, I'm going to return to this state and my output will still be 0. If I get a 1, I'll go to my next state, which is I now have a sequence of 0, 1. So I get a 1, but my output is 0. If I get a 0 at this point, my output will still be 0, but I'll go to the next state of having 0, 1, 0. If I get a 1, I'll go back to reset and my output will be 0. If I'm at 0, 1, 0, 1 and I get a 1, then I'm going to go, so I have 0, 1, 0, 1, I'm going to go to here. I get a 1 and my output will be 1. If I'm at 0, 1, 0 and I get a 0, I'll go over to here and my output will be 0. So I had one fewer states. I didn't need to have a state for 0, 1, 0, 1 because my output depended, I just put that here in my output.
Because if you went back to, so if you had 0, 1, 0, and then you got a 1, you go back to 0, 1 with an output of 1, and you only need another 0, 1 to get another 1.
Right,
Yeah, because you already had a 0, 1 from before.
that's right. I already had a 0, 1 from before.
And so from 0, 1 to
Any other questions?
I'm just looking at your so if you get a 0 at 0, 1, 0, you go back to state, like back to 0. Okay. So what about the state of 0, 1, 0? Does that take you? If you get a 1 at 0, 1, 0, does that take you back to reset?
No, if you get a 1 at 0, 1, 0, so I have 0, 1, 0, and I get a 1,
Mm-hmm.
that's my target sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll take me to 0, 1 because my steps along the way to a 0, 1, 0, 1 are 0, 0, 1, and 0, 1, 0. Those are my steps along the way. And when at any point I want to look at what I have and see, are my last 3 digits 0, 1, 0? Nope, then I'm not going here. Are my last digits 0, 1? Yeah, so I can go to this state.
Okay. Okay.
So for instance, if I was trying to reach the target of 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, and I had, let's just say I had 0, 1, 1, 0. So our steps on the way to getting this are 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. And if it's a mealy, we stop there. We don't need the last step.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm at 0, 1, 1, 0, and I get a 0, I look and I see, do any of these have a 0, 0, 1, 1, 0? Nope. Do any have a 0, 0, 1, 1? Nope. 0, 0, 1? No. 0? Yes. I'd have to go all the way back to 0.
I see.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions?
Can I see the rest of your diagram?
No.
Or should I be drawing it?
It has a dinosaur.
So if I get 0, 1, 0, if I get 1, I go back to 0, 1. If I get 0, that should take me back to 0. Yes. And then if I get 0, 1, 1, that should take me back to reset. If I get 0, should take me back. If I get extra state for B. So Mealy has that extra, Moore has that extra state.
Moore has that extra
So
state.
it represents the answer while Mealy doesn't.
It also does depend on, and this is why I got confused, and I don't know if it was clear in the question, and it kind of depends on who's teaching the class and what they've been doing, is when it says the last four digits entered were 0101, what does that mean? What was the last digit entered? Was it a 0 or was it a 1? Like, what direction are you looking at? And so if you have a question on that, the good news is Dr. Manal will be right there in the room, right? Yeah, so you can just ask, what does this mean? Which was the last digit? And once you know what the last digit entered was, if the last digit entered was 1, then you know your states are 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. If the last digit entered was 0, then you know your states are 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, and 0, 1, 0, 1. I know it looks the same, but it's slightly different. Okay. All right.